welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. It is an absolutely gorgeous October day today. I am outside getting some yard work chores checked off my list. I wasn't planning to film, but I thought you guys might want to see some of what has to go on in the yard and stuff, and maybe give you some tips if you've got things growing or things you need to clean up. I'm taking a break to go grab a pair of gloves. My sweet neighbor came home and she saw me digging in the dirt, and I told her I was digging out wild onions, and she said, "You got your gloves on, right?" I didn't. So it's like, you know what, that's probably not a bad idea, just because I have actually been digging in that same spot before and had not worms, but worm snakes come up out of the mulch. So I'm gonna grab some gloves that will give me a layer of protection between me and the critters and get back to work. So I'll kind of show you what we're dealing with here. I've already started on the other side, but I'll come back over here. But it's these just little wild onions. They pop up all in the mulch. And really the only way to get rid of them, we have sprayed them, we have cut them off, but you really have to dig them up from the root. All right, let's see if we can do a better job digging these up. So what I found is the only way to really get rid of these is to get them from the root. Let's see, can y'all see that one pretty good? So I just kind of dig around it. And then when I think I can get a good grip on it, then I'll go ahead and pull, and you'll know you have got them by the root when the root comes out. So we're gonna get in here, finish doing this whole job, and hopefully we can get them all up like this. Our chickens are up right now, but I just wanted to show you this right here is our biggest concern with our chickens, hawks. And this would be a double team for sure. There's two of them, but our chickens are up right now, but we really have to watch the skies when they're out, because we have lost 2 chickens to a hawk since we've had chickens. So keeping an eye on these guys. So I really didn't get a good before shot because I had already started working before I started recording, but it looks so much better. No more wild onions. And I went ahead and took care of them on the other side as well. So this is my next project. And the reason I haven't really done a lot with these is because, number one, they're still blooming, but they are covered in little butterflies, and I just don't want to take them away from these sweet little butterflies yet. There's a larger one. Let me see if I can get it over here. So that's my job for this week, is to clean this area up. The chickens have dug all in the mulch. Need to clean it all up, all of this out of here. Maybe we can make a few bouquets before we dig it up. So we really got to clean it up. One reason is because it's growing over into the driveway, which makes it hard to pull the cars further down. So we need to clean up, plus it'll look a whole lot better. And really, they're at the end of their season. We could have frost as early as the next couple of weeks here in our area. The low temperature, when I woke up this morning, the temperature was 49. So we know we're heading in that direction. So might as well clean it up. All right, you guys, well, it is a brand new day, and I thought we would pause on the yard work for just a minute. We are going to make ourselves a yummy, cozy, warm treat for after our yard work this afternoon. The temperatures are starting to fall, And today you can really feel the change in the air. I think our low tonight or tomorrow night is going to be down in the mid 30s. And so today it's been like in the low 60s, breeze. Anyway, it's that good, cozy, chilly weather that I love so much. You can tell that fall is here. So we're gonna make one of my favorite drinks. Now, you don't have to wait for fall to make this. We love to enjoy it in the winter, and we have run out of it. And so we need to make some more, and it's called cozy coffee. Or also, you might have heard me refer to it as spiced mocha. That is what my grandma called it when she made it. And so we're gonna make up a batch of that. And I thought I would show you how to do it. It's so easy. I've also used this not only for ourselves and our family of four, our household here, but I'll put it in mason jars at Christmas and give it away as gifts. So that is something you can go ahead and do now. Make up the mix, get those things ready, and you'll have gifts for your neighbors, your friends, the UPS driver, your mail carrier, you know, just anybody that you want to give a little something to. This would be a great little gift to give them. So let me show you how we do it, and then we'll get back to our yard work, but we'll have something to look forward to when we finish it. All right, so I've got my 2 recipes here. Now, I put my cozy coffee recipe in our church cookbook, and then this is my grandma's beloved written recipe for spiced mocha mix. And I found this a few years after I had started making the cozy coffee. But I love the name of cozy coffee. I thought that was just so appropriate for the type of drink that it was. And both recipes include very similar ingredients. We're gonna skip a step. My grandma's recipe, you made your own cocoa mix. And my cozy coffee recipe, you can use store-bought cocoa mix. So each one will give you the same result. I have made my own cocoa mix before. So I have actually like substituted that in to my grandma's recipe in the past. Really the only difference is mine calls for cinnamon and hers calls for allspice. So last year I added just a little hint of allspice to my recipe, and I thought that it gave it like that extra, I guess, spiciness to really call the drink spiced mocha mix. But it's just so sweet to have my grandma's handwritten recipe. I actually found 2 of these that she had written down. She'd written the same recipe down twice, so I don't know if she had intended to give it to someone or she likes it so much that she wrote it again for herself. But I love having that. It just, you know, it's so special to have anything from my grandmother's, since I don't have either one of them here anymore. But boy, did I learn a lot from both of them. And every day, there's just not even a day that goes by that I am not using something that one of them taught me or influenced me in some way. I think about them daily. I feel blessed to have had such a wonderful relationship with my grandmothers. And I try to pass all that on to my kids. They were able to know my granny, which is my mom's mom, and grow up with her. She passed away about 5 years ago. But my dad's mom, my grandma, she passed away over 20 years ago now. So neither one of my children got to meet her, which is sad. But we try to, you know, talk about her and share all the neat things that she taught us. And one thing my grandma taught me a lot about was food and recipes. And she was just she was such a great cook. She made the absolute best biscuits. Y'all have heard me talk about my grandma's biscuits before. I feel like I've searched everywhere to try to find a recipe like hers because, of course, she did not write that one down because that one was in here. She made biscuits. My dad would tell me sometimes 3 times a day. They would have a biscuit for every meal. So that one we're still working on. I've got, I think, the biscuit recipe that I use the most, which probably is Brenda Gantt's biscuit recipe, is the closest I've been able to get to my grandma's homemade biscuits. So that one's a keeper. I'm just going to keep making them like that. And hopefully one day they'll just start tasting like my grandma's biscuits. All right. So I'm going to bring you down here and show you what we're going to do. All right, y'all. Well, I was just talking away, measuring out, chatting with you, and then I realized that I was not actually recording. So let me just tell you what I just did in this bowl that is too small. I added 2 cups of coffee creamer. You can add whatever kind you like. I would recommend not adding a flavored creamer because you're going to have so many other flavors in there. So this is a Walmart brand, but any kind you like. 2 cups of this. And then 1.5 cups of hot cocoa mix. Again, I use a Walmart brand. You can use whatever brand you like. If you make your own cocoa mix, you could use that as well. I've done that in the past. Then you need 1.5 cups of instant coffee. Now I'm using the Folgers Classic Roast, and you don't have to use that brand. I like it, but I would suggest like getting a coffee that you really like, an instant coffee that you really like, since that's kind of, you know, a core ingredient in this. So if you get an instant coffee that's cheap and you really don't like it, then I don't know, it could really offset the taste of the Cozy Coffee. So we're gonna use this instant coffee. So we're gonna use this one, 1.5 cups. And then we added in 1.5 cups of sugar, white sugar. Then I realized my bowl was a little too small. So we're gonna transfer it to a little bit of a larger bowl here, because we're gonna start stirring this. Oh, and y'all missed the cloud of cocoa. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sure there'll be a layer of brown that I'll have to clean up here in a little bit. I do need to add a little bit more sugar because I ran out. So I'm gonna go grab that and then we'll go over the last ingredients. All right, next we're gonna add a teaspoon of cinnamon. That little teaspoon of cinnamon, it just is so, you can really taste it in there. It's really a big part of this, but I want to incorporate the allspice in this one, but we don't want much. I don't want it to overpower too much. So Grandma's recipe called for a teaspoon of this, but since we did the teaspoon of cinnamon, this is what she would have had in hers instead of the cinnamon. So I don't want to do too much. I'm just gonna like do a little bit in my hand like this. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 1/8. I just want a little bit in there. We can make adjustments to this next time if I don't feel like that's enough. But like I said, I don't want to overpower it, because you know, allspice, cloves, those are spices that if you do too much in there, you know about it. All right, now carefully get this mixed together. You can also use a whisk, but the object of the game is to keep it in the bowl. This can easily jump out and get on you. All right, let's switch to a whisk and see what that's like. Yeah. Once you get it somewhat mixed together, I think you can switch to the whisk, but I just keep inhaling it. Woo! It's like baby powder. You ever had that shot up your nose? That's no fun either. All right. All right, so there it is, Cozy Coffee. We're gonna get this put into some sort of container and go finish our yard work, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna sample it. It's gonna be so good, I promise. We're done with our yard work. Time for a special treat. Now I did put my Cozy Coffee into these containers, so you see it made quite a bit. And our recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of our mix per 1 cup of boiling water. So what I do is I just heat my Keurig up like I use for my coffee, and I just run the water through that. You could, boil up a kettle on the stove or microwave your water, however you want to get your boiling water or hot water. I'm going to use this super cute mug. Isn't that darling? I won that as a door prize the other night at a ladies' meeting at church. Okay, so I'm just going to do 4 tablespoons in here. And just as we got inside, actually just as we were finishing up with our project, it started to rain. I don't know if you can hear it hitting the window, but it is pouring down rain. I've decided for dinner tonight to thaw out some stew. We were very fortunate. Not only did our father-in-law bring us some stew that was made in his community, but my dad's church just had a big stew, and so we had already purchased a few quarts from them. So we've got lots of stew. So I think I'll grill up some grilled cheese sandwiches to go with this stew, and it'll be perfect tonight for a chilly, rainy evening. All right, we got our 4 tablespoons in here. Now let's go add our hot water. It smells so delicious. Now you could top this with some whipped cream, drizzle a little bit of like caramel syrup or something over top of it, or you could use a flavored creamer. And this is what I like to put in mine. Just a splash though of caramel. Not like when I use it for coffee creamer in the morning for my morning coffee, but just a little bit always adds a nice touch. All right, you guys, here goes. Oh, that is so good. Delicious. It's hard to drink out of this mug though with all its little ridges. It's cute, but it's hard to drink out of it. All right, well, I'm going to finish the rest of mine, I think, on the porch, watching it rain a little bit because dinner is pretty much done. I'm gonna add that to a stock pot on the stove and let it slowly warm up, and then we'll get those grilled cheese done later on. But I think that it's a good afternoon to just sit down and enjoy this beautiful rainy afternoon. All right, friends, well, until next time, remember to live simply, use what you have, enjoy the moments you've been given, try this cozy coffee, it's so delicious, and I will see you all in the next one.